Paint with me, we're doing Megara from Hercules.
So there are a few different ways that you can start doing characters. One of them would be you could start by color blocking, which means you would paint, like for example, the whole face area, the color of the face, and then go back in the detail. The other one is starting with something like the eye, and then doing around the outside of the eye, and then creating the image further out as you go. But for my cartoon characters, I prefer just to do the whole basic sketch first and then go back and color it in. So I'm going to start here with a pale color. I usually use a light brown for doing the outline. And then that way, if I have a mistake or when it comes to painting over, I know the colors are gonna hide it well. So the first part of the sketch, as you can see I've done, is the face. And I like to do this first because I feel like the face is the focal point of the image. So once I've got that right, I can add in the hair and the body later on. And I'm literally looking at the image I've got in front of me, and I'm trying to copy the shapes of the image. So rather than just looking at the whole thing, for example, now I'm doing the shoulders, I'm looking at the direction that the shoulder goes in, and I'm just literally trying to copy that shape and that line. The good thing about doing the basic sketch first is you can really see the image before you add any harsh colors or dark pigments, because once you've done that, it's kind of hard to go back over it and correct any mistakes you've made. And as you can see, I haven't cured this in the lamp once yet. I personally prefer to do the whole of the sketch, then I can move things around if I need to before I cure it in the lamp. This is my first time painting Meg, and I've actually never watched Hercules, so don't hate me for it. I've just never seen it, and I will watch it, but I had so many requests to paint Hercules, so I'm trying to do a Disney Princess collection at the moment, so I thought because everyone's requesting Hercules, I would start with this image. Don't worry about the lines being perfect at this stage. That is the reason we're using a light color. If, for example, when you pull your brush and the line breaks and you've got a gap, don't worry about it. We're just trying to get the basic sketch at the moment. And obviously you're going to make mistakes, and all you need to do is grab a brush and grab a little bit of alcohol and you can just wipe them away. Same if something doesn't look right, now's your time to erase it and redo it, and just keep doing this until you're really happy that it looks the same as your reference. So I think she's looking pretty good at this stage, and once you're happy with her, you're going to go in and you're going to color block. Now what this means is we're literally going to use it like a coloring book, and you're going to take whatever color you want to start with and color in that area. We're going to overlap areas that are the same color. So for example, the chin is the same color as the neck, so I'm going to go over the chin line. Now you should still be able to see it faintly, so it's not going to completely cover up, so we can still follow exactly where we're going underneath. So for this bit I have sped it up a little bit because it's probably going to get a bit boring. So there's the face pretty much all coloured in, and I'm going to pop that in the lamp and I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds. And then once that's done, I'm going to go on to another section, and I started with the purple dress, but do not hate me. I completely went off camera, so yeah, next thing you're going to see is me painting the hair. I have tried to match these colours pretty well, but it's a fun cartoon. You can play around with the colours and you can do them slightly different. So if you don't have the exact colour and you can't create the same colour, don't worry too much. As long as it's, you know, a red, a purple is a purple, then just go with that. I'm sure it's still going to look really good.
I am fairly new to doing these tutorials, so let me know in the comments if there's any tips or tricks you can give me. I would be so grateful.
These brushes I'm using are from Enchanted Essence, which sadly has shut down, but their brushes were absolutely amazing. And for the sketch outline I used a 9mm fine liner, but when I'm doing the colouring in, I like to kind of get a shorter, chunkier brush. As long as there's no like tiny areas to go in, then I find this works better because it picks up a lot more gel polish. I did make this yellow myself. I didn't have the same colour, so I literally just used a tiny bit of yellow and a tiny bit of brown, and it almost gives you a gold yellow. So you're going to go back to a very fine brush. You can use a fine liner, a fine detailer, but it has to have a really tiny end on it. So I'm going to start with the eyes, and I like to do the outside of the iris first and just create the actual black areas. I just find that easier. Then later on I can come back and colour them in. So for this I'm using my brush very gently. The more you push your brush down, the thicker line you're going to get. So I'm literally just dragging the tip of the brush along to create those very thin lines. So once that's cured, I'm going to take a pale blue and I'm going to colour in her eye area. And then without curing, because I'm going to a different section, I'm going to grab a pink and do her lips. So the reason you don't need to cure in between is because those colours aren't touching, so they're not going to merge. As long as you're using a good quality gel polish, then it's not going to bleed out too much. So you have got time to go and do a few different areas at once before curing. And again, I'm going to come in and do her eyeshadow at the same time. So next, with a darker purple, I'm going to come in and add the details back into her eyelids. I'm not using black for this because it doesn't use black on the picture. Some cartoons, everything will be outlined in black, but a lot of the times they're not, and really pay attention to this because it does make a difference. So while I've got this dark purple, I'm also going to add the dark purple detail into anywhere else that needs it. So for example, the dress. So I'm going to do all this at the same time before I cure. By the way, the picture reference I used is the same as the one in the corner. However, the ones I used on my computer screen were totally different colours. So mine looks really pale compared to her, but that's just because my reference was actually different to this one. But again, that's what I meant earlier by it doesn't really matter, you know, as long as you're using the same similar kind of colour, then just play around with it. It's fine. So once I've done those lines, I'm just literally gonna thicken them up if I need to, and the way I do that is I'm just going to go over the top of them. The gel polish I put over the top of them should just stick to the base layer, so yeah, it's just going to make them look thicker and darker and make them pop a bit more.
If any of you fancy getting involved in my free classes, I actually do live classes over on TikTok, quite regular. So go and check out my TikTok page. Also follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of pictures on there. I know some people prefer to copy images from pictures rather than videos. So yeah, I will leave all of my socials in the description box. To finish up, we are of course doing those very important eye whites. They make such a difference, and I'm also going to add in some highlights, which would be in the areas where the light is hitting at. And I completely forgot about this curl I missed at the front of her hair, so I'm just going to go and pop that in now. And there you have Meg. I think she looks perfect. Let me know in the comments what you want to paint next.